Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Women's World, a very special edition of the program dedicated to Sinai Liberation Day celebrations. Today we are going to celebrate, as all Egyptians do, with the 34th anniversary of Sinai Liberation Day. Therefore, we'll be featuring a special report about the Sinai costumes for women, and also we'll be talking to Dr. Iman Youssef al-Bastarisi, Professor of Anthropology, Cairo University, about this day and the importance of celebrating this day. First, let's check out the report about the Sinai costume for women, then we'll be right back. Stay with us.
سكنت القلب والروح والعين يا زين يلي يطرب البال ملقاك يا من سكنت القلب والروح والعين ولجلك يبيع الروح يا واصل الطول ولجلك يبيع الروح يا واصل الطول وان كنت بايع حظنا ما تريناك وان كنت شارينا حنا شريناك ومع غيرك الله صرت للغير ماشون أبداتها بيضان سينا بالدرجة هايكون ماشون بحلونا عريلة وحنا شعلنا ترمى العينك يا زينة لها ترعى الفضية يا ولاد الدنيا لها شيء والبقية يا العينك ما ترمي لها ترعى الفضية واصحى يا ولدي دينا والليل لا لقيتينا ولا تريد التعليلة تتلاوى وترد عليا يا ولاد الدنيا وخدودك من ورد العال ودعود حبالك جمال بيض والطي على الطيات
Welcome back. My guest for this edition of Women's World is Dr. Sana Yusuf al-Bastawisi. She is professor of anthropology, Cairo University, and actually she is very distinguished because she has been honored on the 24th of March as a national character or national personality for her development projects that she established in Sinai since 1979. She was the first researcher to contact or to conduct studies on Sinai through contacting the people of Sinai themselves, and she has been in a direct contact with them ever since. Let me welcome her. Thank you very much, Doctor, for coming today.
Thank you very much for inviting me for this event. Thank you so much.
Well, we have your profile. Let's take a look at your profile, then we'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. Dr. Iman, as a researcher who has spent most of her life conducting research about Sinai and the people of Sinai, how do you see the importance of celebrating this very special day, Sinai Liberation Day?
Okay, I mean, it's very important for us as Egyptians. We are so proud of live until we saw this day, and now it's about more than 30 days, 30 years, you know, so, and now we're celebrating 34, exactly. So, and we're celebrating this thing then. And it's so happy, I'm so happy for celebrating this with you today. And the influence of this on people, the impact of this on people in Sinai itself, you know, it's really fascinating, you know, and we should have been there, you know, celebrating this with them, because they celebrated themselves the day, you know, on personal level, not just waiting for the government to celebrate it or the country to celebrate it. They celebrated themselves.
You've been doing projects, conducting projects and research in Sinai since 1979. Until now, what are the main highlights of such studies and projects?
I started my study actually in 1979, and this is for the first time not just a female but an anthropologist as a discipline or the researcher in discipline of anthropology visited the area. So it was for them, it was in St. Catherine, South Sinai. It was so difficult actually to reach the area because there was no road and so on. And this is one of the big lies of Israel, that always say that we are the one who paved the roads and done such and such in infrastructure, so which is not true at all. I mean, because the area, the South Sinai area, was given in April 1979, and I was there in 1979 September. So I mean, there were only four or 5 months. You see, so nothing got there. You see. So when I went there, it was for them the first time to see a woman, you know, and they did really hardly believe that I'm an Egyptian, you know. They've never seen an Egyptian woman before. And this where my relationship to the people started, you know, and as you said, you mentioned this before, that it continued till now. So maybe they are watching me now. You
also mentioned to me, Dr. Iman, that there were some misinterpretations about the truth when it comes to the people.
This is true. This is true. I mean, this is totally true, because, you know, as a researcher, part of your research is to access other sources, you know, who wrote about the area and so on. The people, of course. You see, so the backbone of anthropology as a discipline is actually to carry out field work. You see, to give or to bring actually a piece of reality there, you see. So you have to read or to go through all the sources or readings or literature that was written about the area. And I found, and I wrote it in my PhD actually, and that was afterwards, a book afterwards published from the Ministry of Culture. And I'm really proud of this too. That two things actually were very fascinating, which is that most of the researches carried out in the area was actually not really researches, but actually stories told by priests, traders, or officers. I mean, they were not professional in collecting data and doing real research. So this is very important.
So documenting these experiences came through the personal experiences of those people that you mentioned, which lacked part of the truth.
Yes, exactly. See, the other thing is that most of the people who carry out research there, or actually visited the area, better to say, not really carry out research, but visited the area, were men. Because it's so difficult to go there, you see, so most of the thing, exactly. So most of the thing that was written about women, for instance, such an example, was actually taken from Bedouin men. You see, they didn't have the chance to access Bedouin women by themselves. You see, this is very difficult according to tradition and customs and so on. This is one thing. The other thing is that most of the ones who visit the area were non-Egyptians. You see, they come from Western background, so again, it was so difficult for them to understand the culture. You see, for me as an Egyptian, I understand that Bedouins might be different from my culture, see, but actually we are all under the umbrella of the Arab Islamic culture. So so I can understand them easily, you know. I understand this. So a lot of things that was misinterpreted, misunderstood, especially when it comes to women. You see,
well, this is a program dedicated to women.
Good.
It's called Women's World. And it's meant to show the whole world what Egyptian women really are including, of course, Bedouin women. I mean, there are various categories of Egyptian women. We are not in one basket, but Bedouin women in particular have their own, let's say, special characteristics. And since you conducted your research in that area and you've been in direct contact with them, what can you tell us about Bedouin women?
Yeah, one of the things that I found there, let me tell you a little story, very interesting story, that I decided to continue my researches on Bedouin women when I started to do my MA. You see, because when I started my MA, the women had nothing to do with the research. I mean, as part of the society, of course.
Yes.
But my thesis was studying the adaptation of a unique environment, because the area there in St. Catherine is a really unique environment. You see, in terms of social environment, because they do have the monastery there, this relationship between Bedouin and the monastery. It's really very fascinating, very unique.
Wow.
So, and it comes from very historical background. You see deep historical relations. So I had to conduct this and to write about this in my research. And there, when I saw the women there, so I said, you know what, my PhD should be on Bedouin women, because if you wanna study Bedouin women, so you should know more about the society itself. So I've done this in my MA. You see, so it was easy afterwards to continue studying part of the study.
On what you
exactly,
done
exactly,
yes.
exactly. You see, so from my study, from my conducted to people, and from my relation, I tell you the truth about the Bedouin women, that they are strong personalities. So they are not as it's written, or maybe we do have the, like we say, the stereotype of Bedouin women, that they are passive, they know nothing about anything, they are so hidden or limited all the activities to, or effort or power to their home, or domestic, you see, with their children. I mean, this is okay, that's do.
To a certain extent.
Exactly, you see, but how to do this?
Yes.
The way of doing this, because actually when we talk about the family, there must be a kind of division of labor, what men do and what women do. And accordingly, there's a kind of division of power and authority too, you see, and there where you have to say that, all right, so it's not man who is powerful and have authority, so it's women too, because she's the one who's running everything, but they have their own way of doing this.
I've noticed something about Bedouin women, or the women of Sinai and girls in particular, because I've been to Dahab and to Nuweiba and to Taba, and I've came across those little girls who were like making accessories and beads and so on, colorful. First of all, they are very smart.
Yes.
Very smart.
Yes.
And they are like moving in groups together, so they have this support for, for each other. And they are very eager to learn. They want to learn. They want to meet people. They are very sociable.
Yes.
They want to talk to the people. They are not like sealed off or shy away.
No.
They are very open. They are very smart. They are very intelligent. They are like working. And I talk to them. And I asked the girl, she said, I study, I go to school, and when I come back, I do those.
To earn some money.
Yes. She sells it for £5 each. So, I bought so many from her because I really encouraged her, and she was so happy. What she did was really interesting, because she got her friends to buy from my friends. She didn't. She didn't want to take it all alone. That was very intelligent. She called off her friends and she told them she has other friends you can sell to them. You can talk to them. That was really brilliant.
That's. I mean, this is piece of reality, as you said. What you mentioned now from your own experience, it's completely true. But this is the younger generation. I mean, because the generations has...
Yes, they were like 13, 15.
Yes. I mean, this was not like this before, but now they are more eager to know about people. But the thing that you mentioned now, which is true, again, but actually it's based on some traditional activities, which is, you mentioned now that they come with their friends, the support of the group, you see, and this group team spirit, they do have it originally. You see, because when a shepherdess, better to say, because in South Sinai, the one who herds the flocks is actually girls, unmarried. They should be unmarried, you see, because once she's married, she leaves this to her younger sisters. Younger unmarried sisters. And this herb is actually the private property of the mother or grandmother. You see, so they have their own producer. Exactly, and they want to invest this, you know. Okay. So, but of course within certain conditions, you know. So the shepherds, they don't go alone. They actually go together. So this is a kind of a tribal characteristics, you know, that most of even in African tribal societies too, you know. You saw some of my photos.
Tribal characteristics are more or less the same around the world.
Yes,
more or less.
This is true. They work in group. They like to work in group.
There's also something very interesting about them is that the mothers teach the young girls how to make her dresses at a very young age, how the sewing process, and she starts sewing her wedding dress, you know.
Yes, of course. It takes time. It takes a long time. Of course.
This is to appreciate the value.
Yes, yes. This is true. This is true. This is true. And you know, they do have different thobe, like they say. You know, the thobe in Al Arish or in North Sinai is different from that of South Sinai. You see, even from one tribe to the other. You see, the hairstyle, you see, is different from the one in North and the one in the South, and so on. A lot of some little things, you know, that differs. From one.
Well, Dr. Iman, I'm sure you have a lot to tell us about the women of Sinai, and I wish we had more time to discuss. Perhaps maybe you can visit us again, and let's dedicate another edition of the program to talking about the various traditions and habits and characteristics of Bedouin women or the women of Sinai. For now, I'd like to thank you very much, Dr. Iman al-Bastawisi, Professor of Anthropology, Cairo University. Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks to you, and thanks for inviting me for this event and to talk about something that I really like.
And Sinai Liberation Day to you and to all Egyptians.
To all of us. Thank you so much.
Very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's all for this edition of Women's World. I'm Halal Hamilawi. Thank you very much for being with us. I'll be back in a few minutes with the Hour of Stories. Stay tuned. 2 p.m. here in Cairo. Time for the Hour Top Stories with me, Al-Hamilawi. Egypt marks on Monday the 34th anniversary of Sinai Liberation Day. Marking the occasion, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi addressed the nation. In his address, the president said that Egypt acknowledges and appreciates the sacrifices made by members of the police and the army, stressing that the armed forces would not give away any part of the country. The head of state went on to note that terrorism is receding in the Sinai Peninsula, adding that development would begin in this part of the country. President al-Sisi also vowed during his address that Egypt would not accept any threat to its national security. Touching on other issues of concern to the citizens, the president said that the army was exerting its utmost efforts to curb hiking prices. He gave his directives to the government to look into ways to deal with inflation and the hike in prices with the aim of protecting low-income brackets. Earlier on Sunday, President al-Sisi, the chief commander of the armed forces, laid a wreath of flowers on the tomb of the unknown soldier to mark the event. Within the framework of securing the festivities of the 34th anniversary of Sinai Liberation Day, the armed forces gave its instructions to the army commanders on different levels to redistribute the armed forces elements within areas of field and military zones to protect vital facilities and installations. Separately, Minister of Interior Mahdi Abdel Ghaffar described Egypt's security and stability as well as the safety of its citizens as a red line. The statements came during a meeting with the Interior Ministry's high-ranking officers, during which they discussed the security situation and the latest developments on the domestic arena. The minister went on to say that the security apparatus would deal firmly and in accordance with the law and the constitution with any attempts to disrupt security, vowing that security forces would thwart any attempts to attack vital installations. Marking the 34th anniversary of the Sinai Liberation Day, Prime Minister Sharif Ismail reiterated the government's commitment to carry out mega development projects in Sinai with the aim of creating new communities and job opportunities. This came as the National Authority for the Development of Sinai issued a report on the volume of governmental investments in the peninsula during the first half of the fiscal year 2015-2016. It said that 3,841 billion Egyptian pounds worth of projects are being implemented in Sinai. The report said that 32% of the projects were already implemented. To the regional arena, Yemeni troops backed by Arab coalition airstrikes killed more than 800 members of Al-Qaeda in an attack on the southeastern provincial capital held by the group for the past year. The coalition said on Monday that pro-government forces recaptured an oil terminal as well as the city of Mukhalla, which was considered a militant stronghold. Military sources said that the operation resulted in the death of more than 800 Al-Qaeda members and some of their leaders, while some others fled. The operation was part of a wider offensive aimed at securing parts of the country captured by militants who have exploited a 13-month war between Gulf-backed loyalists and rebels supported by Iran. It coincides with UN-brokered peace talks in Kuwait after a ceasefire entered into effect on April 11th, but from which militant groups are excluded. U.S. President Barack Obama set out his vision of ties with Europe in a speech in Germany on Monday, with the end of his administration in sight. Obama emphasized the issues that Europe and America have tackled together, from Syria to global trade, from Iraq to climate change. U.S. officials said that the speech in the northern German city of Hanover is an opportunity to discuss joint U.S.-European efforts to confront a range of challenges, including countering Daesh terrorist group, the current refugee crisis, Ukraine, and the headwinds in the global economy. They said that the president would discuss the progress made on these issues over the past few years and outline the additional work to be done moving forward. Those were the Hour Top Stories. I'm Al-Hamilawi. Thank you for watching. Do stay tuned for more here on Nile TV International.
قواتنا المسلحة لا تنام ولا تغفل. ملحمة سطرها جيل أكتوبر 73 ببطولاتهم وتضحياتهم التي ما زالت شاهدة عليهم حتى الآن. وفي ذكرى هذا اليوم الذي ما زال صداه يتردد في أذهان العالم، المارد المصري يسترد أنفاسه ويعلن وبكل قوة أن المصريين لا يعرفون للمستحيل ضربا، وهم الآن يسابقون الزمن نحو إشراقة نصر جديدة. 25 إبريل، عيد تحرير سيناء.
لن نسلم في إرادتنا ولا في سنتي من أرضنا ولا الأرض العربية.
كانوا رجالة واخدين على روحهم عهد إن المستحيل لازم في يوم يتهد، وبعدها إيدينا للسلام تتمد، ورجعت يا سينا تاني لينا يا ورث أجدادنا وأهالينا، نحلف بعهد الله زي ما حررناكي لنعمرك بإيدينا. 25 إبريل، عيد تحرير سيناء. أنا اللي بتكلم، كل مكان هنا بيشهد عليا. أنا بوابة مصر الشرقية، أنا اللي كل الغزاة طمعوا فيا. أنا الأرض المباركة على مر العصور محدش قدر عليا. أنا اللي جيش حماني، أنا اللي الرسل مشوا في ودياني. أنا الوادي المقدس، أنا التاريخ. إبريل، عيد تحرير سيناء.
ولكننا ظللنا نحتفظ برؤوسنا عالية في السماء وقت أن كانت جباهنا تنزف الدم والألم والمرارة.
في عيد تحرير سيناء، تحية من جيل نشأ في وطن مرفوع الهامة إلى جيل حقق النصر وأعاد العزة والكرامة. 25 إبريل، عيد تحرير سيناء. قوتنا المسلحة لا تنام ولا تغفل. ملحمة سطرها جيل أكتوبر 73 ببطولاتهم وتضحياتهم التي ما زالت شاهدة عليهم حتى الآن. وفي ذكرى هذا اليوم الذي ما زال صداه يتردد في أذهان العالم، المارد المصري يسترد أنفاسه ويعلن وبكل قوة أن المصريين لا يعرفون للمستحيل ضربا، وهم الآن يسابقون الزمن نحو إشراقة نصر جديدة. 25 إبريل، عيد تحرير سيناء.
لن نسلم في إرادتنا ولا في سنتي من أرضنا ولا الأرض العربية.
كانوا رجالة واخدين على روحهم عهد إن المستحيل لازم في يوم يتهد، وبعدها إيدينا للسلام تتمد، ورجعت يا سينا تاني لينا يا ورث أجدادنا وأهالينا، نحلف بعهد الله زي ما حررناكي لنعمرك بإيدينا. 25 إبريل عيد تحرير سيناء.
اشهد يا تاريخ على جيش بلدي واحكي الامجاد. جيش كان بيصون ارضي وعرضي وفي من الابعاد، شال كل الحمل على كتافه، ضحوا بارواحهم ولا خافوا، ودول حوالينا بتتقسم ما بقتش بلاد. جيش بلد اللي اتعلم منه العالم معنى الوطنية، جيش بلد اللي اتعلم منه العالم معنى تضحية. هما شابوا في وقت ما كان بينادي بأعلى الصوت حرية. جيش بلد اللي اتعلم منه العالم معنى الوطنية، جيش بلد اللي اتعلم منه العالم معنى تضحية. هما شابوا